In the past hour, the British Transport Police have confirmed that 3 people, including the train driver, have died and a further 6 have been taken to hospital. The train derailed after storms and mudslides took place in the area. We can now go straight over to the scene where the British Transport Police are giving an update.
Officers remain on scene this afternoon alongside the ambulance service, fire brigade and colleagues from Police Scotland. And a major incident operation has been underway. Very sadly, despite the best efforts of paramedics, we can confirm that 3 people have been pronounced dead at the scene. While formal identification is yet to take place, the driver of the train is very sadly believed to have died. His family have been informed and are being supported by specially trained family liaison officers. Officers are continuing to work to inform the families of other 2 people who sadly died. 6 people have been taken to hospital to be treated for injuries, which thankfully are not believed to be serious. This is a tragic incident, and first and foremost, our thoughts are with the families and friends of those who have very sadly died this morning. I would like to reassure the public that this was not a busy service, and from CCTV inquiries and witness statements, we believe all passengers have been accounted for. However, once the area has been made safe, then a full and thorough search will be conducted, which is likely to take some time. However, once the area has been made safe, then a full and thorough search will be conducted. Anyone concerned about friends or family can contact our Casualty Bureau on 0141 775 5122. I know many people will understandably have questions, and the investigation will be directed by the Crown Office and Procurator Fiscal Service. We'll also be working closely with them alongside the Rail Accident Investigation Branch and the Office of Road and Rail to establish the full circumstances of how this train came to derail. Thank you.
Do we know how many people were on the train?
So there we are. That's the confirmation from the British Transport Police that 3 people are dead after the train derailed near Stonehaven, and what pictures they are. And one can only reach the conclusion that this was mercifully not many people were on that train. 12 people were on the train, 6 staff and 6 passengers, but one can only imagine, given what you can see there, what would have the death toll that it could have been. But nevertheless, 3 people have died in this accident, and which is thought to have occurred after storms and mudslides hit the area. And you can see one derailed and overturned down an embankment, that carriage there, and other carriages also derailing and overturning. Our correspondent Gerard Tubb is at the scene, and he joins me now. So these are well, extraordinary scenes at this accident. Gerard, just bring us up to date with the latest that you know.
They are truly shocking, aren't they? To see the state that train is in, with one completely detached carriage, partially burned, fire truck going past, still emergency vehicles coming in and out, as you heard from the British Transport Police. That search operation still going on. At least one of the carriages partially burned. We saw the smoke rising from where the train is hidden from the public viewpoint here, as far as you can get on the road, before the emergency services have taken over for this major incident with all those vehicles they have parked up there. As you say, that only 3 people died. Tragic, of course, though that is. If that train had been busier, looking at those pictures, quite clearly this would have been even worse. It's interesting that the British Transport Police have given so few details, no questions allowed at that very brief news conference, which was really only an officer reading out the written statement that was issued half an hour or so ago. The crucial question is, if this was the 6:38 train, as we understand, leaving Aberdeen, going to Glasgow, why was it 3 hours later that the emergency services, the emergency call was made about this derailment? It's only 20 miles as the crow flies. It's a twisty line going through a hilly area. It moves inland away from the coast to get through the hillsides here, with steep hills on each side. We know there had been very heavy rain, torrential torrential thunderstorms in parts of Scotland last night, which went on and on. Huge amounts of water. There were floods in many areas, and we've seen pictures of standing water on railway lines. You could understand that there may well have been landslips. We don't know what caused it, but in this area, that is what you might expect after very heavy rain with such steep sides at the side of a railway line. But why did that train, if it was the 638, take 3 hours to get here? And how could this derailment have happened if the conditions were bad, where 3 of those carriages, by the look of it, have been completely derailed? It looks like one's upside down, one is completely detached from the train and some considerable distance away from the train, and another one across at least one other carriage. Truly astonishing pictures, very dramatic, and a horrendous job for the emergency services. We had the air ambulance coming in, we had the Coast Guard helicopter coming in this morning, scores of ambulances. The ambulances have been moving out, many of them, going back to providing cover elsewhere as they realised that they had those numbers locked down. The 6 people taken to hospital without serious injury. If those figures are correct that we understand, 6 passengers and 6 staff, then 3 people weren't injured at all. 6 people have been injured but not seriously, and tragically 3 died. But it's due to the coronavirus, due to the pandemic, that there were so few people on that train, because you have to socially distance, you have to wear a mask, there's no catering. And it wasn't many weeks ago that the government was telling people it was their civic duty not to travel on public transport, of course. So rail services are not being used heavily. But British Transport Police explaining that they still have a job to do to make sure, once everything's safe and they can be sure it is safe, to carefully search those carriages, some of which have been burnt out, as you can see, that they need to make sure that there really were only 6 passengers on that train. That is not a pleasant job. They will have to go through very carefully those carriages, but they should be able to tell us soon.